What happens when I blindly choose a recipe? Stay tuned and find out. I've got 3 recipes for you. They're all gonna be winners. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Okay, for our first meal this week, we are trying something that is definitely in season right now, and that is making a spaghetti squash, but we are gonna stuff it with like a Greek stuffing. Let me be real honest, I've never made a spaghetti squash before. I like spaghetti squash, I've eaten it, but I've never attempted to make it. So here we go. The first thing we need to do is preheat our oven to 400 degrees. I'm gonna attempt to cut this. Now the recipe calls for a 2-pound spaghetti squash. My grocery store had 1 spaghetti squash left and it was 3.98 pounds. So this bad boy is huge. I'm scared I'm gonna break the knife. Don't laugh at me. Okay, you can laugh. Help.
His little arm down there.
Don't make fun of my little arms.
Oh gosh.
I told you, be careful, don't break the knife, please.
I just worry about breaking my wrist. What in the world?
Did you get it through?
I did. I better be good for all that work.
Okay, now I just need to scrape out the seeds. Okay, we have our spaghetti squash. I hope that's done right. I think it is. So now I've got a 9x13 baking dish. I am just going to pour a 1/2 cup of water in here, and I'm going to place my spaghetti squash in face down, and we are going to put these in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes until they're tender. Since these are so large, it may take a little longer than 30 minutes. While our spaghetti squash are baking, I'm going to turn this on to about medium high and let it start to warm up. We are going to prepare our filling for our spaghetti squash. To our hot skillet, I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil, maybe a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. And to this skillet, I'm going to add in 1/2 of a large sweet onion that I chopped, as well as about a tablespoon of minced garlic. We're going to let this cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now I'm going to add in a red bell pepper. So you want an entire red bell pepper. I had 1/2 of one on hand, so I also did 1/2 of a yellow bell pepper that I had on hand. I did turn my heat down to about medium low, and we're just gonna let these veggies soften for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, these are nice and soft, so we are gonna remove them and set them to the side for now. Now to this same skillet, we are gonna add in 1 pound of ground turkey. I did turn the temperature back up on this to about medium heat. Now anytime you are cooking ground turkey, you want to add plenty of seasonings. So I'm gonna be adding our own Greek seasoning. As always, I will have it linked below, but it's just oregano, basil, onion, thyme, and marjoram. And we will also be adding in some salt and pepper too. Now that our turkey is cooked all the way through, we're gonna add our veggies back in, as well as some artichoke hearts. I did drain these and somewhat rinse them. These are the marinated kind, so they already had some seasonings on them as well. And then lastly, you want about 3 cups of baby spinach. And I did go through and remove all of the large stems from mine because that's just how I am. I don't like those long stems on spinach. Let me know below, do you do the same thing? And what we're gonna do is just pop the lid on here and let this spinach wilt. Okay, I think this is done. From what I can tell, very soft for the most part. Okay, our filling is done. So now what we're gonna do is take this and just scoop it and put it directly into our spaghetti squash. Now to the top, we are just gonna sprinkle some crumbled feta cheese. I am gonna put mine back in the oven just to kind of melt the feta just a little bit. You don't have to though, so I'm just gonna stick mine back in for just a few minutes. You can't take Steven nowhere.
What in the world are we doing? What are we doing, baby? Look at this thing. Golly. Oh, okay. Okay. Got you. Hey, is that an artichoke heart too?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm believing.
So when I first showed it to him, he said, this thing's hard as a rock. He was feeling the outside. I said, honey, you don't eat that part.
Man. Okay, I'm no longer gonna laugh. This is amazing. Man, that's really good. The seasoning, is this turkey?
Yep.
This is amazing. I love the spaghetti
Spaghetti squash?
Spaghetti squash in there. There's like some aromatic seasonings in here. I don't know,
yeah.
But like it's like really good. I laughed for about 10 minutes.
He did. Y'all, off camera, he was in there just laughing. I was like feeling not so great about myself and my skills.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, it tastes good. That ain't no joke right there.
Well, good. All right, I'm gonna dig in. Okay, for our second recipe, that is where my blindfold is coming in. Let me show you what we're gonna do. So this huge binder is pretty full. I have so many recipes inside of this, and I have not printed a recipe and kept it in this binder in probably a couple of years, because that's what we do here, is try new recipes all the time. All of these recipes that are tried and true that we love that are in here. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take, this is my sleep mask. Stephen calls it my hat. It is well loved and well used. Don't pay attention to that. I'm gonna put this on and I'm just gonna flip to a page, point at something, and that's what we're gonna have as our second meal this week.
Easy Salisbury steak.
Yes, this is a really good one.
That's gonna be good. I'm excited.
I am excited. I think I've shared this before. I printed it in 2019, so it's probably been here on my channel before, but that's okay. We're gonna have some Salisbury steak this week. Before we get started on our Salisbury steak, I've got my potatoes in here in the Instant Pot. I'm gonna be doing mashed potatoes. And I'm also making some green beans. Little hint, if you don't have time to do my full recipe for green beans, including frying up the bacon, if you save your bacon grease, then you can just use some of that in with your green beans, which is what I did today. Okay, let's start making our Salisbury steak. I need 1 pound of ground beef. We need a 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs, a tablespoon of the Dub sauce, 2 teaspoons of ketchup, a 1/2 teaspoon of yellow mustard, and you need about a 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning salt. I'm gonna use this Auntie No-No's Steakhouse seasoning salt. It's so good. Okay, let's just mix this all together, and then I'm gonna form 4 patties. It's just me and Stephen here tonight, but I had to thaw out the entire pound of ground beef anyway, so I'll just have leftovers for Cole. Okay, my large skillet is heated to about medium heat. We just need about a teaspoon, maybe a couple of teaspoons of oil, and we are just going to cook these all the way through on either side. Okay, these are cooked through. That probably took 7 or 8 minutes. Mine are a little thick, so it took just a little bit longer. But we're gonna remove these over here to this plate. And I am gonna soak up a little bit of this grease. We need a little grease left behind, but that's a pretty good amount, so let me do that. Okay, to our hot skillet, we are gonna add in just a couple of tablespoons of diced onion and a couple of teaspoons of minced garlic. Let's just cook that until it's translucent, just a couple of minutes. And let's add in 2 cups of water. We're gonna bring it to a boil. Now the recipe calls for 2 packs of brown gravy mix. This is like a double pack in and of itself, so I'm just gonna use this one. We are coming up to a boil pretty quickly over here. So let's just whisk in our brown gravy mix. Once this is well blended, we're gonna add about a 1/2 teaspoon of Dub sauce and about a teaspoon of our ketchup. Okay, let's nestle our Salisbury steak back in there. Let it hang out for just a couple of minutes, and then it's gonna be time to eat.
Well, I just want to tell you that I really do appreciate all that you've done today.
Thank you.
Thank you for cooking this meal.
Thank you.
And double thanks, because this is one of my favorite meals.
It is, yep.
Here we go. It's absolutely delicious.
It really is.
The gravy is on point. Some meat is good and, you know.
Not dried out.
That's right.
Yep.
Very hearty, very beefy, rich, deep beef flavor. Talking about comfort food.
It is. It's one of my favorites too, babe. Okay, I'm gonna dig in. I know I'm gonna love it because I've had it before, but y'all should make it. Now for our third recipe, which means it is Subbie Supper night. If you are new here, Subbie Supper just stands for Subscriber Supper, meaning one of my subscribers has sent in one of their family's favorite recipes. And if it sounds like something our family would enjoy, we give it a try. We tell you a little bit about that subscriber, and then of course we do our taste test as well. Today's recipe comes from Courtney. She was born and raised and still lives in Ohio, and she married her high school sweetheart. They have 2 golden doodles named Stanley and Maple. I love both of those names. They're different. And she said even though she's only 30 years old, she truly is an old soul. She loves to cook and bake. She loves to curl up under a good fuzzy blanket and read a great book. And she's just a homebody. She sounds a lot like, so thank you, Courtney, for sharing this recipe. It sounds very comfort food-ish, and it sounds like even the pickiest of eaters would like this one. This is called Smoked Cheesy Chicken and Potato Casserole. To get started, we're gonna preheat the oven to 375. The recipe calls for smoked cheddar. I love how she typed it out for me. She said 1.5 cups of shredded smoked cheddar cheese and a sprinkle for Gracie. Gracie is very aware that there is cheese up here. It smells super, super smoky. I'm scared it might upset her stomach, so I went to the fridge and just got her some regular cheddar cheese. Say thank you, Courtney. Okay, we're just gonna combine everything in this large bowl. I have 1 can of cream of chicken soup with herbs. We are gonna add in our cheese. You need 1.5 cups of smoked cheddar. And I'm gonna use half of this container of sour cream. You need 8 ounces. So let's go ahead and stir that up before we add in our chicken and our potatoes. Now she said you need 1 pound of smoked or roasted chicken. I am just using a whole rotisserie chicken that I had on hand in the freezer, so I just thawed it out. And then I have already thawed these potatoes O'Brien. So this is the hash browns with the peppers and onions. She said you need a 20-ounce package. Mine is a 28-ounce package, so I'm not gonna use the entire thing. Okay, let's give this a good stir. Okay. I've got this 9 by 13 dish. I'm gonna spray it with some olive oil, and we are just going to dump this mixture right in. Now for possibly the best part. I'm going to pop 1 tablespoon of butter into the microwave and melt it. And while that is melting, I'm gonna pour these into a Ziploc bag. Well, you know what? I may just crush them all here, but we just need to crush these croutons. Okay, she said you need 1 cup of croutons. I'm just gonna use this whole bag. Okay, let's pour our melted butter on top of our croutons and just stir it together. And then this is the topping for our casserole. I'm just gonna sprinkle this all over the top. And this is going in a 375-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes, just until it's heated through.
I'm excited.
He has
this looks
no idea.
Delicious.
Yeah, he has no idea what this is.
That's really good. Definitely get a smoky flavor. That's like creamy. I love this. Like really, it's like comfort food. I thought there were bacon in there for a second because of the smoky flavor.
Yeah, yeah. Bacon wouldn't be a bad addition, though. I mean, all right. So we like.
Oh yeah.
Feta makes everything better.
I mean, it don't look too good. I mean, with the presentation, you know, having the big old gourd on your plate. What was going on here with dinner tonight? Looked like we eating out of a head or something. I don't know.
I already gave you some feta. You want some more? You want some more fetas? Okay, okay. It was a new one. I was wondering why it wasn't coming out.
He's a member of the Clean Plate Club.
Grandma can get on to you.
That's right. You gotta make sure you get every last little bite. Grandma will get you.
She can get you. Rightfully so.
Yep. Don't waste nothing.
That's right.
Ma'am. Would you like some mashed taters? Yeah. Sweet girl.
Oh, that was so good? Those mashed taters was good? Mm-hmm.